Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. Here. The lion. New man so funny. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable.
And this is Let's.
What is that?
What's
going on, people? You know what it is. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. One half of
natural
that
forces
dynamic
at work here.
That's Let's Talk Football. I don't know what's going on. It's all crazy. And you know why? Because Daggone got signed. Yep, the Cowboys got the quarterback. I know that's what y'all wanted to hear first. Janae, I don't know where you at. I know you in Australia. Forget the Cowboys. We're not talking about that today because today is a special day. Today is International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day, Delilah.
Yeah. Right. International woman.
We get one day to celebrate us.
They gave you a month now. No,
that's true.
Right,
one international day. Excuse me.
Right.
Don't get too excited. You know, that's how they feel. You know?
There you go.
But hey, we have to shout it out, and what a perfect time to shout it out with everything that has been going on. This is a perfect time in this sport for progress, ladies and gentlemen. If you in the month of February, you knew how we spotlighted every week a member of the African American community that made some impact in the NFL, some football, and it culminated that with the ending of that month with talking about Jennifer King, Washington, first African American female assistant head coach. Let's go. So for her, we got to understand that this is progress. Like Delilah, we had a conversation with somebody that thought that don't get excited. This is something we haven't seen, and I'm glad it's coming to fruition, right, Delilah?
Yeah. So with progress, we know that, as I was saying, someone always has to go first, and that's always the tricky part because we are very much aware that the NFL is not perfect, right? And we know that some of the stuff that they're doing obviously is to repair the reputation that they have of not being actually progressive, right? Of not being as progressive as they're seeing. But they are taking baby steps, right? And the more diverse people go into the NFL, the more positive change they can actually make, right? The more diversity that we have, whether it's men and women of color across the board, right? And if they're in there, right, that means that they could lift others into those same positions, right? So again, we have to get in there first, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, and we know that they're gonna use us as tokens, right? Of, ooh, look at what we did here. Yeah, we're aware, right? Yeah. But at the same time, then that means more women get hired, more people of color get hired, right? And then the more people of color and women get hired, then the better and the more progress you will see, right? Then they can actually start beating on the door more, right? Then they can actually demand change for them, right? So yeah, but again, someone has to take that first step, right? And it's always going to be uncomfortable. And it's we already know that we're always going to be used as a poster child of, look what we're doing, right? We're very much aware of that. But something has to be done, right? And so this is something that is positive, right? And so the more women are hired, the more people of color are hired across the board in the NFL, the better it will be in the long run.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, but yeah, so of course, not perfect. Yes, it's uncomfortable. we're aware that's just like, let me slap some stuff together, like, woo, make it seem like the NFL is like everyone's friend. Yet we know better.
Absolutely. And look, you got to take it where you can get it. Honestly, and Nick, I'm going to come to you. Like 6 years ago, there was no women coaches on the sidelines, reffing, the whole nine. The only time you can see one is if they were holding a mic on the side, doing interviews and things like that.
Or our cheerleader.
Or cheerleaders, right.
Or an owner.
Well,
right. Right. We have a few women owners, correct? Right.
I was getting there.
Don't get it twisted. There's some female owners here, right?
Right. Well, but I think it's huge that, like I said, 6 years ago there was nothing. 6 years ago, if you would have sat there and asked us about that, that wouldn't have crossed a lot of people's minds because they didn't feel it was their player, whatever the reason is. They didn't feel that they should be in. But now this is where we are, to the point where we have week 3, we had a woman coach on each team, on the Redskins and the Washington and the Browns, and we had a women's ref. Was it Sarah Thomas?
Yes.
Is that their name?
Yes.
And then in the Super Bowl, there was 2 women's coaches. So Nick, man, progress. This is good.
Well, it is good. It's absolutely fantastic. And I think it all starts with women who have a passion to do something. And not just, obviously we all have a passion to do something, but my point is saying, you know what, I'm gonna go for this. I'm going to do this no matter what. I love to do this. I love football. I love to coach. I'm gonna get myself somehow. I'm gonna make a way to get this, to get this done and get to where I want to be.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. Because you know what?
Yeah.
Even in your regular job, you're like, well, you hire the best candidate, right? So because a woman doesn't mean she can't do a much better job than some dude who's, just because he's a guy and he's been in football all his life doesn't mean he doesn't know everything or doesn't, like you have to be able to separate the gender from the job and what it is that what does this person bring or what can this person bring to this position and to this, that's how you need to look at it. And in this day and age, especially, it's 2021, folks. Let's all wake up. Everybody talks now about the woke culture, but the fact of the matter is it's just plain simple common sense.
Right.
And women have always wanted to be in football or wanted to be in part, and back in the day, the only way they could probably get in was to be a sideline reporter.
Right.
But even think about that. Somebody had to be the first sideline reporter.
Yes, exactly.
Not to be the first, for there to be a second, or for there to be a third.
Right.
So at some point, there was women who always broke barriers.
Yes.
Phyllis George on the morning show, on the CBS Today show when they did the football with Jimmy the Closet. You had to have, the first woman had, she had to come, which breaks down the woman. Oh, a woman can talk about football, hang with the guys, and all that.
Yeah.
Then, of course, like you said, sideline reporters. Got a woman sideline reporter now.
She's seen as a titan for women reporting in sports. Totally. Like she is like.
No, and absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You have to have these women who have that passion and go after it.
Yeah.
And I hope now that you see this, and like you said, more women hopefully now will be like, or little girls or teenage girls will be like, man, I have a passion for football. I'd love to be this, or I'd love to coach this, or I'd love to do that. And now they know that it's possible for them to do that and to get to that level. And that's what you want. Yes. You want them to dare to dream, my friend. Dare to dream.
Right.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Role models. Right.
Role models. You need
Williams did for me as an African-American little boy growing up in the 80s.
Sure,
he gave me that ability to dream. It's what Kamala Harris is doing for a lot of these young women now. It's giving them the ability to dream. And Phyllis George was that in the 70s. In the boys' club 70s.
Yes.
She was one, and she wasn't one of these ladies on, doing interviews. And we got to shout out them because they did a lot of the grunt work and dealt with a lot of stuff that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
Sure. I'm sure. Absolutely.
She was one of the 4 members of that team. And as a matter of fact, at times, she was more valuable than some of the other members. You know what I mean? Like Phyllis George was amazing and pioneering that way for women. And I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But you know what? With it being Internationally Women's Day, I want to go right into diversity with Delilah.
No.
We got to talk about the first African American full-time official, Maya Shaka.
Yeah.
What's up? Let's go,
Maya. All right, look, exciting stuff. Again, the more women that little girls and teenage girls see in these roles, the more that they will be like, I don't have to give up my dream, because a lot of time girls stop at a point because they don't see that they can go further, and they're like, oh, I really love football, I really want to do this, but I don't see people that look like me in the sidelines. I don't see people that look like me in the coaching staff, right? And so that's super important. Representation matters, okay? Across all aspects. So representation is key. If little girls and teenage girls can see themselves in these roles, then that means they will go for it. And you will see more. You will see it broaden. Then it goes from this tokenism to like, here we are. This is normal, right? But it's not seen as normal yet. So yes, you're always going to have a first and a second. And but let's celebrate these women, because these women deserve it, because they fought for this spot here. So even if they're being used for whatever, they deserve it because they earned that spot. So Maya Shaka, born and raised in Virginia, by the way, she's a Virginia girl.
There you go.
I know. I love that. I know you love that. Okay, so she attended Norfolk State University, and she earned her bachelor's degree in health and physical education. She is a teacher.
Let's go.
She is an educator. Okay, so
shout out for the teachers.
So not only is she an NFL official now, she is also an educator. Okay. So outside of that, she's a health and physical education teacher for over a decade at Renaissance Academy in Virginia Beach. Okay. So she has been shaping the lives of children there. So again, congratulations, Maya, not only because you are the first Black woman to officiate at an NFL level, but also you've been shaping young lives. And now you're serving as an additional role model for those kids. So kudos, because now they will see their education teacher, their physical health education teacher.
Totally.
Go in there and be an official in the NFL. She could bring that back and touch kids' lives even further. All those little girls, she is just gonna blow up and change lives more than she already has.
Right.
Because educators change lives. Okay. So again, wonderful. Shaka has also been part of the same kind of, so the NFL again came up with this NFL officiating development program. And in a way, again, they created this program to address the issue that we are talking about now, their diversity problems. Sure. And so the idea is for them to attract women also to be part of these programs, by the way, but also a lot of different diverse pool of candidates. And so she's one of two. Sarah Thomas was also part of this development program. And so by the way, 21 referees were in this program, 2 of them women. Okay. So again,
all right, thanks. Somewhere.
So again, not perfect, but at least they're it's it's addressing it, right? So the reason she was in that program is because they scouted her because she was an official at the college level. Because while she was going to school, while she was going up to university to become a teacher, she officiated college football games. Okay. So so she has that experience. From 2000, she also did a lot of officiating in high school, obviously, as well. So she did the USA conferences, the Pac-12 conferences, so she was so she was officiating big college games. So it wasn't like, so she also had the experience, and she was scouted while she was officiating at these different levels. And they asked her if she wanted to be part of the new development program. And yes, so she participated in the development program that the NFL has launched in the hopes of attracting more women to actually become referees. They don't know what position she'll be officiating with yet, but she will be definitely officiating an NFL game in September. So as soon as football starts back up, what game and what position she'll actually be in charge of, we're not sure yet. But come September, she will be an official in an NFL game. So honestly, I'm so excited that she will be out there, and just go Maya. Happy International Women's Day. And now that we're starting to see this, I hope that more women and more young girls go, I could do this and be part of something great. So kudos, Maya Shaka. Again, first Black woman to be an NFL official. And she will be in her first game come September this year. So kudos, Maya.
Yes.
Very nice. I see you. Hey, and shout out. We got a bunch of people watching. I got to shout out my baby Kat, talking about, hey, good call, Delilah. I love how you continue to educate others with this. Yes, diversity, Delilah. Every week, check us out, guys.
Right.
Yo.
Get it.
So, hey, also, she also said, nice haircut, Nick Rosario. What's going on?
Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that, darling. Thank you very much.
Let's go. All right. We know, look, we understand why a lot of you came to see. We know I'm not even talking to y'all Cowboys fans, gossip man, whatever. But listen, franchise deadline is approaching. Now, it was supposed to be tomorrow, but Nick, if I'm not mistaken, they don't know what's going on with the salary cap. It was at 180, so now it might switch. What's up, Nick?
The NFL has not officially announced the salary cap, which could push back the 4 p.m. deadline tomorrow of franchise tagging when it was supposed to end. Because obviously you want to know how much money you're going to have, what you can play with, what you can do before you franchise tag one of these guys. So there's a strong possibility that gets pushed back. Hopefully we'll know by tomorrow morning what the deal is. But for now, the deadline is 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon for franchise tag. So, hey, we could have an exciting day tomorrow in the NFL. Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Real quick, I want to shout out Joe Schaefer and my man Bernard. What's going on, guys? Thank y'all for watching. But Nick, I'm gonna come right back to you. Let's get into it. For some of them, they don't have to wait. Dallas fans will not have to wait it out tomorrow to see if they're getting their guy. Dak gets his deal.
He got his deal.
I'm happy for Dak, but forget the Cowboys.
That's the thing.
Cowboys.
After all that happened, and the thing is, okay, so for those of you, just to get the numbers out of the way, it's a 4-year deal, $160 million. 126 of that is guaranteed. His first 3 years are $42 million. So he's got
money coming. Yeah.
I mean, it is, it's funny because in a sense you want to say, well, Dak played it right, but really Jerry Jones shot himself in the foot with this a long time ago.
Yep.
Because he should have had Dak's deal done a few years ago. Now he's probably over, and then Cowboy fans will probably argue with me, but he overpaid for Dak. He overpaid for Dak. You're giving this gentleman $40 million a year. You could have got him cheaper 2 years ago, Jerry. Like, I don't know what your economics guy is, who's your numbers person, but I don't know. Like I said, I like Dak as a person and as a player. Like, hopefully Dak will, I'm not a particular Cowboy fan, whatever, but it is what it is.
You see it?
Yeah, Dak has now gotten his money though. So you've got your quarterback, you've got your running back, you got some, you got your receivers still. So let's see what the Cowboy, if Dak comes back healthy and strong after the injury, now you've got your offense together, Mr. Jones. See what you do. Yeah, Dak got his money like he wanted. So, hey, good for him. Good on him. But Jerry Jones, you totally blundered this entire thing.
Exactly. And before I go to you, Delilah, I do want to say a message to Dak. Listen, Dak, they did you dirty.
Yeah.
You got hurt, and they waited till the 11th hour to pay you. Listen to me.
Dirty.
When you finally get out from under that contract, we'll be waiting for you. We'll be waiting for you in Washington. But until that time,
after Tyler Heineke plays 3 years, right?
right. But until that time, Delilah, does this mean the Cowboys have got the NFC East? I mean, they've got a quarterback now.
It
what
doesn't.
does it mean?
It doesn't, because so many factors, right? One, it looks like they got their offense, but a lot of things that I read, they still have to kind of fix their defense, right? So that's the one thing too. They still have to work. So I guess it depends what they're going to do during the draft, right? What are they going to do to bulk up the defensive end of the team? But also, they're not the only. You have the Eagles being sneaky, right? And rebuilding, even though they want to call it that, right? So it looks like they're going to stick with Hurts, which I think is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting him some studs, and they're gonna have a really high pick. So I think that I would not say that the Cowboys have the NFC East at this point, because I think once I see what the Eagles do with the draft, we can probably go back and look at that again. But it's not guaranteed. No,
it's not.
Sorry,
it's not,
Cowboys fans.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, Cowboy fans.
Don't get your hopes up. All right. Washington is still coming in hot.
Well, the thing is, that's the thing, though.
Realistically, and then I don't want to spend too much time on this because I like Cowboys. So, but Nick, I gotta say this. I gotta ask you: is that relationship? I understand they got the contract, but as we saw with Deshaun Watson, who got a contract last year, and now we see that, is this relationship between Dak and the Cowboys, or just Dak and Jerry Jones, is that relationship fractured?
I would have to think to some degree that it is, but I think we had mentioned this before, and again, everybody's different in the way that they handle their business, and everybody's in it for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
With Deshaun, it's a matter of principle and respect.
Yeah,
that's what he demanded. That's what he felt he didn't get, so he wanted out. Dak has been about the money, and Dak was like, I want to get my money. I want to be one of those guys who, when I retire from the NFL, I've got a huge nest egg. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dak was about the money, and Dak got his money now. So you could argue that, hey, come on, Dak, how could you let him treat you like that? Dak is treating it like a business. He's doing it as a businessman. It's not about loyalty. It's not about, because I guarantee you, he probably, behind the closed doors, he's probably cursing out Jerry Jones. But for now, you're like, hey, I'm the quarterback. It's my team. I got the money I wanted. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's a business. And unfortunately, in the NFL these days, that's the way you look at it. It's a business.
Yeah.
It truly is. Loyalty's out the window these days when it comes to the NFL. It's a business. So whatever I can get, whatever. Yeah.
I got to tell you, and fans, I got to tell you, it is a different way to look at football.
It is.
You look at it from a business standpoint as opposed to how you feel inside, how you're
loyalty. Oh.
You know what I mean? I love this guy. Oh, no. He's trying to get that money because, like Dak saw, as soon as you get hurt, they really, they leverage on it.
And that's the thing. Like, honestly, Dak, I think, is as much as he also got lucky because Dalton played so bad that they went, oh my God, we need Dak. Like, it became such a cluster, that it was like, no, we need Dak back. We got to make this deal happen. We got to get, Andy Dalton was never going to be the answer, but fine. You did what you had to do. But you saw that without Dak, this team was absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry, Janae.
And look. We all know.
It's hard for me to keep track of the comments on Sean's thing because I wish that the comments would show up on our screen.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know because David was saying, no, we don't, Nick. We are way over the cap.
Wait, David.
What's it again?
Wait, David, right. Wait, I know. See, he's one of the people that hates this. He hates that they got Dak. Dave, I want to get you in here. Let me see if I can't do that for a second.
I saw a comment on your feed, Sean.
Dave is upset by all this?
He is not a Dak fan. Shout out to my boy David Wright because he came on when Dak first got, or when Dak was struggling. Even though he was doing so good, throwing for big numbers and this and that. David came on Let's Talk Football and told us, look, he's not the new Tony Romo. This not going to give him a pass for throwing 400 and 450 yards in a losing effort. No, you're not winning games. So shout out to you, Dave, because Dave's realistic. There's a lot of that. So hey, shout out to you, Dave. I definitely sent you a little link, so if you can get in here, we'll definitely. I have two Bears fans, and I know what it's to not have a in the. You wish and you hope and you dream that these rumors are real, but there's been a lot of noise talking about.
Here we go.
Look, hold on, Delilah. I'm coming to you first because I know where Nick's head is at. Nick, relax. It's okay. So Delilah,
okay,
is there truth to this? Is there any?
I don't think there's. I really don't think that it's true, to be honest. But I see why people get excited, right? Because it's just. Everybody's like, oh, his brother's here, so they're trying to throw all this stuff out there, and also because he's, he listed 5 teams. By the way, he listed 5 teams, but not just the Bears, where he would go, like if he had the chance, if he was thinking of even leaving Seattle. But I think what happens is because, as I was talking with Sean earlier, Chicago has always been a defensive team. That's our history, right? Our history has always been monsters of the Midway. I mean, just even before, like literally since the inception of our team, like that's really, the bread and butter. Yeah. But, when the idea of finally maybe turning new leaf, having a quarterback that can, actually do some stuff on the offense, people get overly excited. But then it just takes away from what we should really be looking at, which is Allen Robinson staying? Because that's a bigger deal for me because I want him to stay, right? And so, what are we gonna do about Nick Foles? Where is Mitch gonna he's a free agent? Is he walking or what's going on? Like honestly, I want to know what's going on with the quarterbacks that we have on our team now. Yeah. Like I really want to have, because that for me is more pertinent to how our regular our season might be. Is Nick Foles our guy? Which is I'm thinking yes, but that's just based on just looking at stuff. But yeah, so it's just the excitement, it's just the idea, right? It's just the idea. Everybody's like, oh, maybe, what if? But I don't think it's credible. Like until I see something from until I see someone like maybe Adam Schefter go, oh, yeah. What I'm saying? Like until I actually see it from a credible source, I don't believe it's true. But I could see why it gets the excitement. It gets a lot of buzz.
Oh yeah. And look, in Chicago, and you guys already know this. It would be a parade as soon as you got him in the door, okay? Yeah. But I have to say this, and Delilah, I talked to you about this, Nick, before you got on, is that you guys know how you guys with hard with quarterbacks. The last time you guys had major all pros was back in the Sid Luckman days and the new guys and those guys. So Nick, just go. I'm not even going to ask you a question. Just
okay. My turn now, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
All right. First of all, okay. And again, you guys know I love the Bears. I am a passionate Bears fan. It's my team. It's always been my team. Win, lose, or draw, those are my guys. I would root for the Bears no matter what.
Of course.
Realistic. And here's the biggest thing. And I know, you hear all the rumors and this, and you give up this, and you get that, and then you give up this, you give it. We don't have. This in no way makes any sense for Seattle to go, yeah, we'll trade you, Russell Wilson. Right. Go ahead and give us your second pick from next year, or second round pick from next year, and your number 20 pick from this year. Oh, and sure, Khalil Mack is about the same, average salary that Russell's getting this year, so we could offset it that way. Yep. And then you probably got to throw in somebody else, and you got to throw in this person in it. Guys, it's not realistic. The Bears just don't have what a team would want. We don't have the draft capital. We don't even have I mean, yes, we have players that they would want, but if you do that, and I know people say you need to mortgage the farm for a quarterback. Ryan Pace's job and Matt Nagy's job is on the line. Well, guess what? I don't care. I don't want any of those bums here anyways. I hope they get fired. I almost hope we go 4-12 next year because maybe you'll finally get rid of these two bums. Like, I don't know what's going on over there in Chicago with George and this whole and Pace and Nagy and this. It's like ridiculous. You don't have what Seattle would want in return for a quarterback like Russell Wilson.
Right.
In the same token, you don't have what the Texans, who still say they're not going to trade Deshaun, would want for Deshaun Watson. We just don't have it. It's not going to happen. And if it does, then I'll eat, a 2-foot hoagie live on air or something because, I mean, because it's not going to happen. We don't have it. And the more that these rumors get circled, like you said, fans get all excited and we can get Russell Wilson when well, his brother does live here, and Jimmy Graham was his teammate for years, so he's got a friend of Jimmy Graham here, and wouldn't it be great to see Russell throw to Jimmy Graham again and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, we live on planet Earth, people. This is not Mars. We're not roving around looking for life on another planet. We live here in Chicago and on Earth. And like you said, let's be 100% honest. Let's say somehow that the sea, Moses parts the sea, the stars align, whatever, the moon's in Uranus, however you want to call it, and Russell Wilson comes here. Then who's protecting him? Who are you protecting him with? Our offensive line from last year that we haven't upgraded yet?
Yeah.
Is that who you're going to? Russell Wilson is already complaining about the team who gets him sacked more than anything and gets his ass kicked.
Right.
His offensive line. Exactly. You're going to send him to a team. He's going to want to. I mean, I get it. He wants to come. Like he said, this was one of the teams to come here. But as Delilah said, we weren't the only one. People, there's other places he would go, and I guarantee you, some of those other teams would have more to offer. But now, again, it's
hold up.
What?
I got it. Like I said, hey, you heard it here first, guys. If this happens, Rosario Jr. will eat a 2-foot-long hoagie on air, and we will stay here on air until he finishes.
Until I eat all 2 feet of it, right? Exactly.
Now look, Nick, you my boy. You're my boy. But I got to call you out because 2 weeks ago on this show,
yes, go ahead.
You were the guy.
I know.
That mortgage the future.
Yeah, I know. No, come on, let me have it. You're right. I said, and you know what? At that time, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, yes, this is what we got to do. This is, let's do. And what did I say last week? I changed my tune, if you noticed.
You did.
I told you last week. I'm like, you know what? This isn't going to happen. Like, realistically, we don't have the pieces. We don't have the parts. And the parts we do have, we can't really afford to give up. You know what I mean? Like, as Delilah said, our defense is our bread and butter. So if you start giving up those guys, we're really in trouble. Right. So then we'll have an offense and no defense. Who wants that? So it's frustrating only because you see this and you go, I get it. I get the optimism. I get the hope. I get all that.
That's what it is.
At the end of the day, when you're sitting here realistically looking at this, and as much as I hate to say this, and you guys know that I do, but Mitch is walking. Mitch is a free agent. They have proven they don't want Mitch here. And if I'm Mitch, I'm like, fine. I'm going to go try to skip somewhere else and see what I can
agree.
do.
I hope he does.
Mitch is gone. So what do you have? You have Nick Foles signed to another year.
Yeah.
You let Nick Foles. I mean, you're lying in your bed now. You made your bed. Now you're going to lie in it, you bit jackasses. So you start Nick Foles and you try to draft the quarterback at number 20. If you can make a small trade to move up a little bit to make sure you get the guy you want, fine. But I think just at this point, that's the best option for the Bears. It really is. Because even some of these backups, like Marcus Mariota, that people have said, let's just go get Marcus.
They love him.
Okay, it's not 2016, okay? It's 5 years ago was the last time Marcus Mariota was any good. Let's go with Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's a rumor Ryan Fitzpatrick is retiring. So you can't go get Fitzmagic. I mean, again, your boy in Washington is not going to be there, Alex Smith. But is that what you want? I mean, do you want another aging quarterback in your locker room,
right?
Who still has a bad leg, and you want to make it just we don't have a lot of options. And as much as I don't like Nick Foles as the option either. This is what it is.
It is. It really
is. Until you can improve that situation seriously without giving up your entire team,
then
this is what we do. You go with Nick Foles because you got him. You brought in your guy, right, Nagy? Like, this was you brought in Nick Foles, and you draft a quarterback. That's what you do.
You stick with who brought you to the dance.
Right, and you pray that quarterback you pick turns out to be a phenomenon. So, yeah, that's how you got to do it. I mean, I think at this point, that's what it is. So, yes, 2 weeks ago, I was all in. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was ready to go. I was ramped up. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And just, realistic, you're just like, it's not going to happen. And I hate it.
So look, I got we have the space on here. We have this. I called out my boy. I said, we have this platform, so I want to give him a chance to defend his position.
Oh.
We said, hey, Dad gets the new deal.
Is David joining us?
David Wright. Go.
Thanks for joining us, David. How are you doing?
I mean, I see you guys already moved on to Russ, and
no, we're coming. I want to.
But we'll come back for you. Come on, tell us what you want. Right, say something. Come on, I know you got something to say. I want to hear it.
Okay. So Nick, you were talking about, Delilah mentioned my comment about we're over the cap now, man. Yeah. We do not have all those offensive players anymore.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, right.
The cap is going down this year. And that's what all these players didn't understand this year was that after last year with COVID, the salary cap was going to go down.
Down, right.
You know what? It's projected at $180 million.
Yes.
And you want to pay a quarterback $40 million.
40 mil.
42 for the first year.
126 guaranteed.
You're not even a top 5 quarterback in the league, and you want to squeeze your team. All right. And here, look, if he was playing for, let's say, Chicago or the Jets, somebody with a smaller market, less marketable as a player, then I would say go get your money.
Yeah.
You are the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody wants to talk about how Dak has made pennies. Oh, the poor guy was on his rookie contract. He's like over $50 million in endorsements.
Oh, yeah.
How did he get that? Did he get that based off of his arm strength? Mm-hmm. No, he got that because he is the quarterback of the single most marketable sports franchise in the history of sports.
Yeah.
The only sports entity in the world in the history of sports that matches us is what? Manchester United?
Is it Manchester United? Right. It sounds about right. I mean, sounds about right. Yeah.
Like, get out of here. I mean, the man has already made his money.
Yeah.
And now it comes down to, do you want to win Super Bowls or do you not want to win Super Bowls? Tom Brady understands this. Yes, the one single point of credit I will give to Tom Brady, and that he was the difference maker in Tampa Bay, was the pay cut he took to go there and bring in the pieces around him. Now, Dak, you want to make money or do you want to win Super Bowls? Because if all you care about is money, take a walk, brother. Right. I'll find somebody who wants to win.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Dak treated this like a business, and Jerry Jones blundered this from the beginning. Yeah. 2 years ago, he could have signed Dak to a contract that probably would have been about $35 million a year, maybe. And that, I'm just saying, it would have been $35 million. Yep. You probably would have gave him for like 3-4 years. And Dak at that point would have been happy with that. Yeah. But after all this stuff happened and you signed Zeke and you started throwing money at everybody else and you didn't give Dak anything.
But this is what Jerry Jones, this is what the Dallas Cowboys understood from day one about Dak. Dak is not Russell Wilson. He is not Patrick Mahomes. He does not lift his team. He is a game manager.
Right.
So what did they do? They went out and got all the pieces that they knew Dak needed to be successful. Now, if you pay Dak a couple years ago, Nick, what happens? You might not get Amari.
You might not get a CeeDee Lamb or an Amari Cooper.
You might not have built that offensive line.
Yeah.
No, Jerry.
I think they have a good offensive line. That's the important thing there too. Like, the offensive line is one of the best in the NFL.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah,
not anymore, but I mean, it was. I mean, come on.
He had 3 solid years with a top 3 offensive line in the league.
I know.
And
that's
what
I'm
doing?
Like,
playoff wins, NFC Championship,
Super
Bowl.
So David, that's why I have to ask you this, and this, like what I asked Nick. Okay, we saw the injury. We saw how the outpouring of support for Dak, and we miss you, we want you back, and this and that. I think Jerry made a statement at that point when he said, "I'm not signing you right now," but then to wait until the 11th hour and then sign Dak. Are we heading to, and this is what I ask them, are we heading to a Deshaun Watson Houston situation where it's like you get this money this year, but the relationship is so fractured that it doesn't matter?
Okay, so I actually posted something on the page, and it was my plan going forward. No use crying over spilt milk. Yeah. We already paid him.
Right.
It's done now. Yeah. So how do we go forward with this? My last point on there was to assassinate Jerry Jones.
I saw that. I saw that post.
So, David's statements are those of his own and not the express written consent of anybody else on this show.
Right.
Disclaimer.
That was David Wright. Right here. Jerry will come out.
I think that Jack's single biggest point of leverage was his intangibles, his leadership.
Yeah. People loved him.
The way he was that solid team guy. He never said a bad word about anybody. No. He was always rah Cowboys, team first, until this contract.
Right.
He just put the lie to everything he's been saying for years. He doesn't care about the team. He doesn't care about wins. He doesn't care about Super Bowls. He cares about money. Yeah. I think Dak lost a lot of credibility with this move and pressing the Cowboys this far because all those guys who were supporting Dak through all this in that locker room with the salary cap hit the league's about to take.
Yeah.
You're about to see a few less faces in that locker room. Other guys are about to start losing money.
Yeah.
Now everybody sees Dak for what he is. How long do you think that team's going to stand behind Dak?
Exactly.
Right.
So you're talking about, is the relationship fractured? Where is Dak mad at the team? My question is, in 2 years, when the Cowboys have to start making cuts because of this deal, when guys have to start restructuring their deals because of this deal,
let's go.
Does that locker room still trust Dak? When Dak goes out there without the weapons that he had for the last couple of years, and he's not getting it done, and he gets exposed because his pocket awareness is trash.
Yeah.
He is an inaccurate quarterback. Bottom line, he is inaccurate. He throws some absolute dimes at times, and he also overthrows and underthrows wide open receivers.
Yep.
So when you go out there and do that after you just took money away from your whole locker room,
so he's Mitch Trubisky.
Are you? Yes. Is that locker room going to continue to follow him?
I see what you're saying. Like, and and we're just poking jokes, right? But I see what David is saying, right? So now I guess what do you do during the regular season, right? Let's see what's going to happen now.
I mean, like you said, you just go out there. David said, you just go out there and you play. Whatever happens, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, like he said, in 2 years, when some of the other contracts are up and guys want their money, and you're still paying Dak this $42 million a year,
right?
You're going to have less money to pay them. As he said, you may see some guys who will be gone.
All right, hey, look, while we have you on the show, because I can't, my skin is starting to crawl. I can't talk about the Cowboys anymore. Okay, so while we have you on the show, like we talked about,
Janae will be so happy you dedicated this time. Okay, so
I'm happy
the Cowboys some love. So.
Janae's gonna be happy all the way from Australia. Be like, yes,
right. Janae will love it. All right, so look. While we have you, we're going to play a game. It's a quick game. It's called Franchise Tag Roulette. Unfortunately, Dak is off of this list. So I'm going to go around the horn, and I'm going to name a player, and I'm going to point to you, and you go and give me if these guys are getting tagged or if they're leaving. I'm going to start with you, Delilah. Juju Smith-Schuster. Is he getting tagged or is he leaving?
He's tagged.
He's getting tagged?
Ooh, okay, Juju, cool. You think so?
Yeah, because Nick. Big Ben took a pay cut.
Big Ben, he did take a pay cut, Big Ben, which he had to do or he was going nowhere. So.
All right, Nick, Kenny Galladay.
I say gone.
You say he's gone.
I say gone. Free agent. I think Kenny wants to explore the free agent market, honestly. And it's tough because Detroit, now with the trade and you bring over Jared Goff, but I think Kenny wants to explore free agency, honestly, and I think Detroit saves the franchise tag on him. I do. I think Kenny goes to free agency.
Now I'm going to send this next one to David because I already know how the two of you feel about it. Allen Robinson.
Oh.
Is Allen Robinson getting tagged or is he leaving? I'm going to you, David.
I have no idea, man. I think that completely depends on the quarterback situation.
True. Yeah.
I think
truer words were never spoken.
Yep. I agree. I agree 100%.
I mean,
it really does come down to that.
It does. It's so bad, right? It's so horrible.
I don't even know what the numbers are for a wide receiver tag right now. I would have to go and look at it.
I think it's
15,
14 or 15.
Right, 14, 15 maybe in that area to franchise. Yeah. 16, 17, depending. 16, 17, something. Yeah.
Quick.
I'm getting thrown into the fire here.
Yeah.
Yes, we threw you in, David. Thank you for coming on, but yes.
It's between 16.4 million to 17.88.
There you go.
That's the range.
Franchise tag
16 to 17.
I mean, on a good receiver. Here's the thing. Here's my argument, real quick. And I think people do make this argument, like professionals and experts do make this argument. Allen Robinson is a good receiver. He can catch the ball. He can go up and get it at times. Blah blah blah. But is he in that elite receiver conversation? Is he a Julio Jones? Is he a guy like that? And I like Allen Robinson, but I don't know that he is the guy that should be demanding that kind of money. Gotcha. I don't see him as top. I just don't. Like, that's me personally. I've seen him play. Saw him play in Jacksonville. Saw him play here in Chicago. Even though I know Chicago didn't really have a quarterback for him, I don't see him as top flight number one receiver money guy. And I just don't.
Nick, question.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth tagging him?
I don't personally.
As quarterback bait.
Well, okay, as quarterback bait, probably, because then it's
hard to pull a quarterback if you don't have weapons.
If you don't have a right receiver. No, I get that. And the thing is, too, you know who would excite me more if I was a quarterback? Darnell Mooney. This is a kid we picked up. His first year was last year.
But he hasn't done anything yet.
Understood.
Allen Robinson has done stuff.
Yes, but he has. But sometimes, Sean, and you understand this, you're a football guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do go on potential. You look at a guy and go, man, this guy, if he had a quarterback who could get him the ball, who didn't overthrow or underthrow, or the kid's wide open and you don't even throw to him at all.
Yeah.
Like, you have, this kid has the speed. He's got the hands. And yeah, it was his rookie year, but he played very well in a system that sucked.
Yeah. I disagree with David, though, that Allen is the better bait, though. I do agree with David on that. Allen is the better lure.
Wide receiver to me is such. I think it's why you get the biggest divas there too, because it's such a hard position to truly evaluate.
Right.
Look at Juju. Look at Juju. Before AB left, everybody's like, "Oh, Juju's a number one. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's out producing AB. He was doing that because of AB."
Exactly.
Right. When you get a double team on the most important guy, and this guy's open, or this guy gets more looks, or this guy gets,
You can talk all day about Chris Godwin, but does Chris Godwin do that without Mike Evans taking the attention from him?
Not at all. Not at all.
Hold up. You're getting ahead of me, man. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, sorry. That's a good question. That's all. We're just answering.
Hey, look. Since you brought it up, David, I'm coming to you. All right.
Go ahead, David, go ahead.
The Buccaneers have one franchise tag, and they have Chris Godwin and they got Shaq Barrett. Who do they use that tag on?
I go Chris Godwin just based on the fact that he knows the system. He's been very consistent. The one thing that concerns me is injuries.
Yeah.
If he can be a number one like if I'm going to franchise tag somebody, I'm a franchise tag Mike Evans, who's been the number one, the face. We know what we have there, rather than the guy who benefits from Mike Evans. So can Godwin stay healthy, and can he continue to be productive even if we part ways with Mike Evans at some point?
I got you. Yeah.
Right.
So if we're talking about 1 year franchise tag to keep that receiving core intact, I take Godwin.
Take Godwin. Okay. And listen, I'm going to take this last one. All right, because my guy Brandon Sheriff. Listen, it's going to take about 16 to 17, about the same amount, to tag him and bring him back. That is a lot of money for a guard. Yeah. However, it is very hard to find a solid guy in the draft. And if we decide not to make any big splashes with quarterback, I say we keep him. I say we tag him. We keep him for another couple years. We solidify that line, and we go from there. As line is one of the things that we need. And if we're going to cart out a Tyler Heineke or a Kyle Smith or whoever Washington puts back there at quarterback.
Marcus Mariota.
Hey, my guy Ryan Fitzpatrick is retiring.
Sean, what was his last contract?
Oh, I got to look that up. It was big, though.
Was it big? Was he on a really big contract?
I don't think it was really big.
Basically, what I'm getting at is the tag going to a relatively average to underpaid player, or is the tag now disrespecting a player who was already paid?
Well, so actually, breaking news, just read the site, they did tag him. So they tagged him again.
Oh, they did.
At 15 mil. So they tagged him at 15 mil.
Oh, Brandon?
Brandon
Sheriff. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
It answers that question.
Congratulations, sir. There you go. You got your guard.
There we go. We'll take it.
Quarterback.
Well, there you go. Sean was right.
How about that? Look at that.
Every time I put somebody on the list, I put Dak on the list when I first wrote down the notes, and then he got picked up. I'm terrible. God, come on.
Well, geez, Swami, tell me who our quarterback is next year.
Thank you so much for joining the show. I have to get you back on because we need to do a Dallas talk or something with you and Janae. We got so now we got the platform.
I've had so much fun watching the three of you for the last couple of weeks. Delilah, Nick, super fun to actually get on with you guys. We'll have future opportunities. I think I got the whole SteamYard thing worked out. Okay. So can't wait to be back. You guys keep doing the thing, all right?
All right.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I got to shout out, ladies and gentlemen, I have to shout out my man, one of my best friends, David Wright, the producer of Let's Talk Football. The only reason we're able to make this thing possible, he was the one who created the football group that we have now 314 members. This man right here, and hey, he's proof that anybody can get along. Because Washington and Cowboys fans aren't supposed to get along.
Right. They don't get along.
We're good friends.
Truth.
Yes, sir.
I love you, brother.
Yo, love you, buddy. All right, man.
I love that.
Let's go. And listen, without further ado, and you take all the time you need on this because people have been asking and waiting and wishing, what's he going to say? What's he going to do?
They want to know.
Nicholas Rosario's first official mock draft is here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting. We've been waiting. And it's here. It's here. Nick, I've been scratching my head, man. I know you're only doing 1 through 16 this week.
Yeah, we're
scratching my head. Where are you going? How are you gonna pick? Who are you gonna put where? So hey, without further ado, Nick, do your thing, man.
All right, thanks. But I mean, after that opening, I really hope I live up to what everybody's hoping for here. Because, I don't think I have to say this, but I'll preface it just by saying, this is what I think, given what I've read, the stuff I've seen, the stuff I've heard. You try to put these things together and think, these are the team needs. This is what they could use. There's no trades in this one. I did it without trades, just so you know. I'm not trying to prognosticate all of that stuff. But this is a straight 1 through 16 right now with team needs and what I thought, what I've been hearing, what I've been reading, what I've been seeing. And, of course, we start with number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think everybody would be fooled if Trevor Lawrence is not the number one pick come April 29th, okay? Yep. Again, we all know the accolades, 6'6", 220, quarterback out of Clemson. Most NFL-ready quarterback coming out of the draft, obviously. If you're Urban Meyer, you have to take Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you just do. There's no 80 ways, it's just there's no real discussion there. We know that. Jacksonville, number one, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. Number two, a point of contention for a lot of people because a lot of people think that Sam Darnold is definitely on his way out. When I'm one of them, there's been a lot of trade talk, especially lately. So this could change. This is my mock draft, but this could change tomorrow, depending on if something gets done. But the talk of the town, and I have to kind of agree with it because of just them moving on from Sam Darnold, even though you might be saying, well, aren't they getting Sam Darnold that they draft this guy? Zach Wilson, number 2 out of BYU, quarterback, 6'3", 209, live arm. Broke a lot of passing records at BYU. BYU has always had kind of a history of guys who like to sling the ball. Jimmy Mack, Ty Detmer, these guys like to go out there and throw the ball. And when you're in that high-octane air out there in the Mountain West, I mean, you can throw the ball as far as you want. So we'll see how he does with the cold air in New York if he goes there, huh? But right now, number 2, coming off the board, quarterback after quarterback, Zach Wilson, BYU, number 2. Miami Dolphins, number 3. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. And I'll tell you why. This is as far as pure athletes, and as far when you have a high pick like this, one of the things you want to do is also take the best athlete available. If it's also something you need, it's even the better. And definitely, Miami needs receiving help. Yeah, and who better than the LSU standout, Jamar Chase? Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got a quarterback now. You're obviously going to go with Tua. You've made that decision last year, so here you go. There's rumors again. Fitzpatrick is retiring, so Tua's definitely the guy. What do? Now you start getting him the weapons he needs, and one of them is a wide receiver. Can't lose with Jamar Chase out of LSU, my friend.
Nice.
Number 4, Atlanta Falcons. Now this one, there's people will probably be like, I have them taking Justin Fields, quarterback from Ohio State. 6'3", 227. We all know what Justin Fields did. National title game, playing hurt, all that good stuff. The kid shows grit. He shows some good leadership ability. And I think Atlanta is ready to move on from Matt Ryan. They know his time is pretty much over, whether they give him another year or not, which they probably will. But I still think you draft a quarterback here. Again, you want to go for best athlete available and a need that you have. Though they also have some other defensive needs and things like that. But I think it's hard to pass up a guy like Justin Fields when he's available at that spot.
Right.
Because it's such a quarterback-heavy draft in that sense, you got a number 4 spot here. You want to take a guy. This guy could be your future with receivers like Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, and other offensive weapons. Justin Fields could do a lot of great things in Atlanta. So for right now, I have Atlanta taking Justin Fields, number 4. Number 5, and I don't think this has ever changed. I think I've talked about this before. Cincinnati Bengals. What do you need? You got to protect your investment in Joe Burrow. You take Penei Sewell, offensive tackle out of Oregon. The best tackle listed on the board, Outland Trophy winner, 6'6", 331. The guy's just a beast. And you need someone to protect good old Joe Burrow. Yeah. I think this is a no-brainer, I think, for a lot of people. Like most drafts I've seen have Sewell going to Cincinnati at 5. I think it's almost a lock. I think you can pretty much count on that one as being pretty sure. Number 6, this one's a little different, but Delilah, you were talking earlier, and I don't know if you know this, and I'm not trying to, but Philadelphia has actually been shopping Zach Ertz lately because of what he's making this year.
Heard about that?
They don't want to pay him that $13-14 million I think he's owed this year, and they've been shopping kind of his name. They've put his name out there for trades, and this is the reason why I say that at number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles take tight end Kyle Pitts from Florida. 6'6", 240. This guy is beyond tight end. He's almost like having another receiver. And what the Eagles need, and more than anything, is a playmaker. You need someone who will go and get the ball, score you touchdowns, and improve your offense. And
I get it. I guess the only reason I said that is because ESPN had reported that the owner wants to build around Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
This would help him.
But that's the only reason I mentioned it.
No, absolutely. No, but that's what I'm saying. And why not again, when you go for athletes available at where you are, at number 6, a tight end who's 6'6", 240, who catches like a receiver. Can you imagine Jalen Hurts throwing to that guy? Phenomenal.
Right.
So I'm going tight end, Kyle Pitts, Florida, number 6 to the Eagles.
Okay.
And number 7, I also struggled with. Detroit Lions have a few needs. But now that you got, like I said, you got Jared Goff in there. You might have a couple of wide receivers as free agents who might leave, and so a lot of people were picking, wide receivers for Detroit at this spot. But for me, it's hard to pass up when you need help in the middle of your defense to pass up Micah Parsons. I have Detroit Lions taking Micah Parsons out of Penn State, 6'3", 245, All-American, All Big Ten, and the Butkus Fitzgerald Award winner for Best Linebacker. It's an award they created in 2011 for Big Ten. So this guy's everything you want in a linebacker. And here's a stat for you. I did come across this when I was doing some research. Last year, Detroit allowed 19 rushing plays to gain at least 10-plus yards, which was tied for second in the NFL.
Wow.
They need somebody to plug up that middle and to make tackles and to stop that run game.
Yep.
And right now, there's probably no better athlete in this draft at that point than Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. So I think the Lions look at that and go, that's an attractive, we need help. Yes, you can still go get receivers. You can sign free agents. There's going to be some free agent receivers, out there. So I think you go with Micah Parsons at 7 if you're Detroit, and let's start shoring up that defense a little bit. Number 8, Carolina Panthers. I think I talked about this before in terms of like when I was scouting quarterbacks, where people might end up. As much as I like Teddy Bridgewater, I still think Carolina drafts a quarterback here at number 8. Trey Lance, North Dakota State, 6'4", 227, like we said, live arm, big-bodied kid, be able to run that Carolina off. You got Christian McCaffrey there, a couple other guys. It's one of those things where you could have maybe taken, you could say, well, then what about Mac Jones or Kyle Trask? I think Trey Lance would fit more into what Carolina does and what they'd like to do, just because he can run as well and get out of the pocket. So number 8, Carolina, we go with Trey Lance, 6'4", 227 on North Dakota State. Now we go to number 9, Denver Broncos, and now we're going to go, we got rid of a lot of the offensive guys in this draft so far. Now we're going to start with some defense because there's some definite needs here. Especially at cornerback for the Broncos. I have them taking Patrick Surtain II, Alabama, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, 6'2", 203. So your prototypical kind of cornerback, maybe another inch or two taller would be great. But again, Patrick is phenomenal. Again, when you're the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in a league that does nothing but score, that says something. So to me, Denver has a glaring need. What do? You fill it with a Patrick Surtain. Obviously, we know his father played in the NFL as well, so he's got a pedigree. But the kid comes in, looks good, can defend one-on-one, so Patrick Surtain II, Denver Broncos at number 9. Now here we go. Number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, as we know, Dak has now gotten his deal. So as far as little pieces to supplement the offense, fine, because some guy, one or two guys may go, whatever. But defense is big for Dallas. They need we have a corner. I have them taking cornerback Caleb Farley out of Virginia, who did skip Virginia Tech. Sorry, he skipped this year to 2020, but listed at 6'2", 207. A guy who can go. Like I said, my biggest thing with cornerbacks, and I think with anybody's thing, is you have to be able to cover. You have to be able to push a guy off the line or be able to run with him. Be able to shadow him. Make sure you got. So I think Caleb Farley has all these assets. Only played a couple of years, but solid guy. Virginia Tech. You got to go Caleb Farley to the Cowboys. Definitely need some cornerback help there in Dallas. The New York Football Giants come in at number 11 here this year. And, of course, same thing with them. You kind of go – you're looking at athletes, who's around, what is your need. I think wide receiver. I say Jalen Waddell goes to New York at number 11. And we talked about Jalen a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, people And as much as we go through this, and as much as I thought, oh, maybe Devontae Smith, because I just think the overall consensus now is that actually Jalen Waddle is probably the better pickup. Wow. And so the Giants are looking at this sort of thing. Like I said, you go out and get the best athlete that's available, because now you're starting to get to the double digits in the draft, and guys are starting to come off the board, and you're looking, hey, what is my need? What do I need here? They definitely need some wide receiver help, and why not Jalen Waddell? Good, San Francisco, number 12. A lot of interesting talk here too, because obviously they're talking about quarterbacks, what's going to happen with Jimmy G, this and that, but defense especially needs to be sewn up a little bit there. So I have them taking cornerback J.C. Horn. Sat out. He did sit out 2020 as well, 6'1", 205. But again, a guy who can cover, stay with you one-on-ones, got a little bit of speed. San Francisco may go a different way. This is just how I see it. Like I said, sometimes, I could be wrong, but I think that, again, in the grand scheme of these, I think they'll shore up their quarterback, thing either way. They can always do that through this with the free agency or you can't at that point. There's no reason for San Francisco to go after a quarterback or go after a receiver or anything like that. You need help on your defense. I see you take J.C. Horn. Number 13, and I think I've never gotten off this. I've always said that this is a perfect place for this particular pick, and it's the Los Angeles Chargers. Offensive tackle Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. Mm-hmm. We already talked about him a few weeks ago, 6'3", 315. Guy didn't allow a sack the year before, which is almost amazing, playing in that Big Ten. No, it is. I mean, to me, that was a great stat to find. But, yeah, you got to protect your guy. You got Justin Herbert. They're now coming for his second year. And, it's interesting. Like I said, I want to divert just for a second, because not that this guy is great or like we didn't really get the chance to see that, but do you find it funny that nobody's talking about Tyrod Taylor? Free agent quarterbacks or trade possibilities?
Yep.
Huh.
Does anybody else find that funny? That I
think it's crazy.
All of a sudden, the forgotten man, like Justin, the doctor screws him up by puncturing his lung, and Justin Herbert comes in and just takes his job.
The doctor, right? Dr. Herbert.
Right. Well, I'm saying, say what you will, but all of a sudden Tyrod was out of a job. So again, just a little side note.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But again, you want to protect Justin Herbert. He's your quarterback going forward. Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. And the thing is, people are talking about the fact that at 6'3", maybe just a little short to play tackle in the NFL. So you could always move him inside to guard or center if you needed to, but a phenomenal lineman nonetheless. So again, offensive line, Chargers, you go Rashawn Slater. Minnesota, number 14, of course, needs defensive help. We already know about their quarterback situation and their offensive situation, even though they did let Kyle Rudolph go. But Gregory Rousseau, who is the edge rusher out of Miami, kid is 6'7", 265. Right? He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Minnesota would do themselves a great service by signing this kid. I'm telling you, because you need defense. And this kid can provide it for you off of that edge rush. And this is what you want. You want someone to rush the quarterback. So I think for number 14, Minnesota, his kid's should be available at this point. I think you go and grab him. It's definitely a need you have. It's a big need you have. New England, I kind of played with this one, and this is where you go again. New England could go a couple of different ways here. It's if you want to get the correct spelling, Sean, it's Rousseau.
Okay.
But it's pronounced like I must be, maybe it's French, that Rousseau.
Rousseau.
Rousseau. Right. Just so we get, because I don't want, I don't want his mama calling me, getting mad at me that we say we spelled his name wrong like Patrick Mahomes did. But
right.
It's not Pat Mahomes. It's
I
Patrick
appreciate
Mahomes.
that. Look, let's move on. I don't want to get mad.
Rousseau's mother calling us, yelling at us about stuff. Greg's mom, if you're watching, I'm very sorry. All right?
Sorry.
But yeah, Minnesota definitely could use an edge rusher, and Greg's available here at 14. Go ahead and swoop him up. You want to take the best athlete you got going here, you do that. New England at 15. Now, because I gave away Jalen Waddell at number 11 to the Giants, I thought I'd make up for it here. Now, again, if he's available at 15, this is kind of a steal. But Devontae Smith, we all know New England definitely could use some receiver help. They haven't had like a top name receiver, in a couple of years. They're struggling mightily there. Obviously, the quarterback situation is something they may address because there's rumors that they trade up with San Francisco at 12 to draft a quarterback, and that's still a possibility, obviously. But here again, I'm going with the no trade one. New England at 15. On my chart, Devontae Smith is there. You take him 6'1", 174. But obviously, we all know what Devontae did, his pedigree. What he did in the championship game was just amazing. The guy can go and get the ball, score touchdowns. And boy, does New England need that desperately. So 15, I have the Patriots taking Devontae Smith. And my final pick of the night, we're doing 1 through 16 this week. Again, just as a reminder, 17 through 32 next week. So Arizona Cardinals come in at 16 here.
Okay.
And I thought about this for a minute. You've sewn up a lot of your defense. You got J.J. Watt now. You still have Chandler Jones, who was hurt, but now he's out of the woods, and he'll come back strong. You still got your secondary. So what does Arizona go after? A running back, somebody who can carry the football. And who better, I must say, than running back Travis Etienne out of Clemson. 205. Now think about it. Two-time ACC Offensive Player and ACC Player of the Year, holds records. Just listen, you know how the ACC is. But he's he has rushing yards for 4,952. He leads in record for rushing touchdowns 70. Leads for total touchdowns in 78. Total yards from scrimmage 6,107. And total games with a touchdown. He scored in 46 games. This is a guy, if you put him on the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and who knows whoever else they go and pick up, now you're talking, my friend. I like Travis Etienne, running back, number 16, Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
There we go.
Well,
Maybe some surprises there, may not be, but that for right now, that is Nick Rosario's 1 through 16. I hope you've enjoyed that. Now you can all yell at me and tell me I'm an idiot. There we go. It's out there. You can come at me. I can take it. I'm a big boy. These are huge shoulders. I'm a Chicagoan. I live for this.
There we go.
Let's do this. So yeah. But anyway, so next week we will have 17 through 32 to finish the first round. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like I said, I welcome feedback. I welcome comments. If anyone has something to say about 1 through 16, absolutely. I will address it. No problem. We can talk. But again, next week, 17 through 32, which includes the beloved Washington football team of Sean Spencer and the Bears of Chicago for Delilah and I. So you don't want to miss next week for sure, because there will be a lot to discuss. Let me tell you. So there you go, folks.
So I had a question. So I actually saw an interview today about the 16th pick, and the interview was with Najee Harris, who is identical to Travis Etienne. Now, I don't think you drop off any way if you go either direction.
No, and I considered Najee here as well. I did.
Right.
As a matter of fact, in a previous draft of my draft, I actually had Najee going 16 to the Cardinals. I changed my mind. Yeah. I did. I thought about it.
So he did an interview. I saw him do an interview today, and they asked who would his dream spot be, and it's just funny. And he said the Cardinals. He said you got the defense, you got Kyler, and the guys on the offense,
and they need a running back. And so, what better way to bolster your offense than in the draft with a top 16 pick? Again, it's they're at 16 sitting there in the catbird seat, man, because
Cardinals are going to be something to watch.
Yeah, there's some good running backs in the draft. They're overshadowed by the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. You know what I mean? We did. You know what I mean? Like, so the running backs are. We haven't. I haven't done my running back. Remember, we were doing every week. I was doing I hadn't gotten to running backs yet. I did offensive line, receivers, and quarterbacks. And there's again a couple of running backs in here that are really they can be really steals in this late first round for teams, because there's just so many quarterbacks, so many receivers that are going to be picked high. And and again, let's be honest. As much as I hate this, because I love a good ground and pound. I'm a defensive guy. Run the ball down somebody's throat.
I know.
Smash mouth them, just hit him in the face. And that's not the NFL anymore. It really isn't. Running backs are not at a premium as they once were. Wide receivers and quarterbacks are the way to go, it seems, in drafts now. So running backs get put, so when a running back, I don't know. Like I said, we all know how that's going. We watch the NFL. We see how this is, but I still love a good running back who can take it, put it down your throat, smash right through you. And I'm telling you, I fear the Cardinals if this happens.
I'm telling you, man.
For Travis Etienne, I fear the Cardinals next season.
Look out!
Another year.
NFC West. Woo!
Yeah. I would probably pick the Cardinals to win that division next year. Honestly, I'm just being serious.
I mean, especially if the draft goes the way you're thinking.
Yeah,
that's
I don't. I mean, I get it. I know. Whatever. But anyway.
I'm just saying they're making waves, right? They're making good decisions. They're signing the people that need to sign. They're
what is it? San Francisco, Seattle, the Rams, and the Cardinals, right? The NFC.
Yeah, and then you got.
That's gonna be the division.
That's gonna be huge,
right? Yeah. Rams, you got your quarterback, right? You got Matthew Stafford,
right?
Yeah.
You got that number one defense. So yes, will they be tough to beat? Sure, they will, no doubt. But I'm telling you, those Arizona Rams matchups for next year, I will be keeping my eye on, my friend.
Oh yeah.
I hope those are one-time games.
JJ Watt is hungry, and he went to a team with a strong defense. He was just, I'm the final piece.
Just added.
Yeah, he's like,
and look, if that wasn't enough, on Good Morning Football today, who's the defensive end for the Rams? Brockers.
Yeah.
One of the guys that plays with Aaron Donald. He was on there. And he I guess he got interviewed by TMZ, and they were like, "Oh, well, JJ Watt is in your division. How you feel?" And he said, "There's only 199 in this division, and that's Aaron Donald." Fuel to that fire.
That's exciting.
Great. Look, they were the best division in football a year ago. I mean, halfway through the season, most of those teams, it was like they were within a game of each other, and that's San Francisco having injuries. You know what I mean? So that's definitely, I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see,
I'm looking forward to them holding the title of best division and the NFC holding the title of worst division.
Of worst division. The NFC best, the NFC least. There you go.
Right. So look, all right, we this has been a great show, and we are coming to the end of the show. And I gotta bring out this last segment. One last word. Yes, sir. So one more thing that we have to say that we're looking forward to, or something that we're excited about. Delilah, go to you.
I'm looking forward to see more women succeed in the NFL, right? It's Women's History Month, so I'm looking for more women. Come on, let's go. Let's get more women hired in the NFL across the board. That's what I want to see.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nick?
Well, I know this is Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. But you have
Don't steal mine, Nick. Don't steal it.
I hope I'm not, because we didn't talk about this, Sean. So I hope I'm not. But for me, today I got some great, fantastic news that come opening day here in Chicago, we will have fans in the stands for baseball.
Okay.
This warms my heart to no end, because as Sean knows, we've talked, I am just as big a baseball fan as I am a football fan.
Go Cubs, go! Woo.
Baseball was my first love. I played Little League for 7 years. But yeah, to know that, all right, Delilah, take it easy. But to know that we will have crowds for baseball and the opportunity to see live sports again just warms my heart. So my last word is about that. Thank you, Lori, even though I shouldn't thank Lori Lightfoot, but thank you, Lori Lightfoot, for meaning that we can safely go watch sports again, which I knew we could. So again, a 20% capacity. So you got about 8,000 seats at each stadium. That'll be filled on opening day, which I will love to see. So there you go.
I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, even though they are both from Chicago, they rep two separate teams, as you're seeing Delilah with the blue and the red. And Nick,
black.
I know you didn't choose this, but you got the black on for your socks.
Black.
White socks. Hey, and shout out to myself, and shout out to Nathan Snell, who will be with us as our numbers guy later on, in the coming weeks. But we're both Baltimore Orioles guys. We struggled for a couple years, but hey, it is what it is. So you didn't steal mine, Nick, but I will shout out, as if some of you have seen, if you can see it, got that Tar Heel blue on, and shout out to my Heels after we got that 18-point victory over the hated Duke Blue Devils. Yay!
I can't hate on no Tar Heels, okay? Michael Jordan, like, hey, I can't hate on no.
Exactly. Let's go.
The Tar Heels, anyways, right? Come on.
Too much, man. MJ came from that school, so I can't,
Shout out to my Tar Heels. Shout out to March Madness.
Woo,
Next Sunday, Selection Sunday. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am with two of the most amazing people, because anything that I put out there and say, hey, look, I have this idea. What do you guys think? They're already 2 steps ahead of me. Okay, so shout out to Delilah, because what Delilah did, Delilah hit me up today, and she was like, "Well, hey, I'm already starting to fill out my bracket." I
don't know what CBS got going on, but okay. Let me be fair. John Linney, who's in our Let's Talk Football group, okay, he was like, "Hey, you want to fill out brackets?" I said, "We're filling out brackets already."
I wouldn't even finish conference tournaments, but okay.
We're doing conference tournaments brackets? I don't know
who's in the tournament, but let's fill it out.
But that's what it was. It's just all the conferences, so it's preparing.
I'll take over Liberty.
No, that's what it is. It's if you log on, it's the conference brackets, not like the big ones.
I'm just messing around. Absolutely. Hey, conference tournaments start this week, so if you're a basketball fan, conference tournaments.
Hey, and they're going on today. I think the CWA tournament is going on right now.
Okay.
Going at it. Hey, so what I'm saying, my last word is March Madness coming soon. The next couple weeks are going to be amazing. Woo! We'll have a show similar to this that covers the games, the tournaments, all that. Yes, we will be doing our brackets. We will be picking who we think is going to go, who our dark horses are. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be fun. And shout out to Nick and Delilah, because we also will be covering some baseball coming up, because these guys love it. Yes.
I watched my White Sox dominate in the American League Central. Yes.
Hey, my Orioles. All right, we got to go, guys. So hey, this has been another amazing episode. I am Sean Spencer. To the where to the right of me, left
Delilah
of me,
Crespo.
below me.
I am Nicholas. Come and bring me the smoke, Rosario.
Go smoke.
Give it to me. I'll give it to you. You give it to me. Let's go.
Let's go. So, join us next week, 17 through 32, Nick's second half of his mock draft. I will be putting up these videos so you guys can come after Nick. Nick says he wants the smoke. Poke the bear because he wants the smoke.
Bring it.
Bring the smoke.
All right.
Let's go.
All
right, guys. We got to let you go. I'm Sean Spencer. This is Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, guys.